Winsome have kind of been jumping back and forth. And not to say that they can't play the agent at the highest level all the time, but I feel like the proficiency kind of goes out the window a little bit, right? We saw Winsome earlier, and I pointed it out, and it's very minuscule, but with the blast pack, just not finding the right, I guess, propulsion and running into a wall, which could have led to a kill. It didn't. So I am a little wary coming into this one for these players on these agents. I would have liked to see them keep it the same, maybe on the Viper, but Plix off to an early start. Their ears were ringing, so Winsome and Plix let it go right to work. And 27 HP there. Not great for Retro on the Jet as IN backs away. Able to use that snake bite to buy some space, buy some time, and Roy with spike in hand is going to hang out for just a sec.
Only down here for IN. Two players incredibly low. We're talked on the other side. They're waiting for the SONIQS to make a play, and there it comes. IN trying to push forward. Randy does have that shot, and now Renegades, they have man advantage, but I don't think there's a heal available on the back of Roy. However, Bob making a play into the smoke here on that Astra. Normally, Bob's chosen agent, and well, will fall to their counterpart that's jerked to take down Bob. Crunchy tries to make a play forward, does actually make it work. Dismissed back to safety. Dizzy in heaven, though, does die. Now it's Crunchy to show us what he can do up on this arena, but, well, not too much. Roy does shut that one down, and the Renegades find the first.
This is a bit spooky because we know SONIQS, they do lean on their defensive side of things, which, okay, if we jump into this next round, Judges, a Sheriff, they're forcing. So they're really leaning into their defense here to make sure that they come out ahead at the half. Because again, their attacking side of things sometimes, you know, falls a little flat like we saw on Ascend. Obviously, this is a different map and it is a different composition. But I like this. I like seeing finally a team today play a bit more aggressive with their economy. We'll see what they can get done with it. They are completely forced out as Roy getting tripped up with the Trailblazer there. It's not going to be the one way with the Poison Cloud. Instead, tossed out towards mid. And as they push through, they will be chipped away at. Snakebite going to try and stop a push, but Winsome has a nice little angle. Is able to close the distance with one blast pack. Has another. In reserve, Plix finds the first. The frenzy shot's gonna go wide, but definitely helping out on that one as Renegades find themselves down a player.
Dizzy tucked in behind this wall, considering making a bit of a play forward, but he's not going to commit to it. Randy does just hold this line. Wall will fall in a moment. That leaves Dizzy life to fall away. Renegades now not very much together here. Spike working its way from mid in towards that A side, but this A push could be a mistake because you see Dizzy holding close with that Judge. He's being baited in for by Crunchy. If Randy dies, that really puts a spanner in the works.
And this is something that you'll see all game. I'm not too sure about Disney Life, but Randy Savage playing out towards A and just kind of being a thorn, always being that way, the lurker for this squad because of that fire and forgettability of the Viper abilities. Now we're seeing the Ecos continue to swing the way, or the Force, excuse me, continue to swing the way of SONIQS as Dizzy finds 3 to tie things up.
Flawless to boot. The Judges doing practically all the work there. Dizzy Life, you know, maybe it doesn't matter if it's an op or it's a Judge. He's going to use them both the same way to just use that one-shot potential and mow down his opposition. I wonder what sensitivity Plix plays at, because he just absolutely cranked his mouse to the other side of the room there for a moment to be able to adjust in time and avoid that bird. But regardless, huge round for the SONIQS. They have kind of an interesting buy into the next one. So too does RNG. Both teams don't really want to concede these forced by wars. So we'll have to see. Whoever comes out on top is going to be able to put themselves in a nice position to find some early momentum.
Yeah, I love this, right? Neither team giving up all that much. If Renegades were able to find this round as well, coming off that round loss, it would just be the perfect tug of war. Here. Especially in terms of economy. Gravity Well trying to slow things down for a sec, but the dash on through is Winsome picks up one. Oh, both raises can hop on the board with the economy or with the utility kills, excuse me. as the judge just doesn't have the range just yet. Ian makes me eat my words as he picks up 2 from downtown. Roy stuck inside B main. Right behind him is his trusty pocket Viper, but is that going to be enough? Poison Cloud goes through. Randy Savage looking to creep up alongside Roy here. And to take the long-range fight is definitely the play. And as they slowly creep on up towards the site, it gets a whole lot less doable as Crunchy finds one, and Dizzy closes it out again. SONIQS to find another round. And I guess, unbeknownst to me, or surprising to me, Renegades had a bye coming into that round. I did not expect them to be able to try and piece anything together. So maybe they try to go force for force. Either way, it did not work in their favor.
Yeah, kind of those force by wars. They attempted to pull out at least, but it was conceded. Renegades just onto the Sheriffs. However, I think for the SONIQS, they're just a judge team, man. Like, maybe they just stick with these shotguns, because this keeps getting them these free rounds. They find themselves 2-1 up after losing the pistol, and now they're in this kind of anti-eco situation. The start of this game has been so incredibly awkward, but for those folks in chat that are the SONIQS fans, this is exactly what they want to see, because when the SONIQS are on defense, like you mentioned, they normally want those advantageous halves. They tend to struggle a little bit more on the attack, especially up against a team like RNG. They can be so dang good at locking it down, but pressure towards B main here. A main as well. RNG just on a default, but the judges just waiting at every avenue.
Kills traded back and forth. Retro and Bob gonna hop into the kill feed. One with the Sheriff, one with the Spectre. And again, Randy Savage is over here. Round after round after round, you will get used to seeing the Viper knifing down the wall as Winsome finds another kill. That's going to be a Bulldog pickup as Crunchy falls away. Retro with the right click, going to go wide as Flick sits him down. The resurrection comes on through, so Dizzy Life able to get Ian back on the board and swing things back in favor of SONIQS. Not out of the woodworks just yet, as they've taken quite a bit of damage economically, and a couple of guns have since been picked up by this Renegade squad. Winsome going to go aggressive up towards heaven. Plick's gonna hop right on through, and I questioned the maneuverability, but I eat my words completely. It is Plick's supremacy. I bow down to Plick's on the raise, as SONIQS will find a third. I mean, the blast packs, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I want to see, and Plick's does it so beautifully.
Plick's does that absolutely perfectly. Just getting in their face with the judge, absolutely tearing it up. SONIQS are still bonusing here, Tanner. They're keeping 2 Spectres, they're keeping 2 judges, and frankly, I love the call. If it's still working, keep it up. Just do as much damage as you can this round. Try and get as many of these rifles out of play as you can, and especially if you can get a round win, that's huge. But for the side of the Renegades, they've been playing things really slowly. Very defaulty, and it's just not working. I hope to see them pick up the pace, and that's exactly what's happening. Dash forward for Retro.
And that wall having to be used awkwardly there. Seekers go through, guiding light off the back end. Dizzy Life still able to hang out for just a moment longer. Now playing on the opposite side, no longer under heaven with the judge. Showstopper gonna go wide, but Crunchy is there to clean up the mess that Plix has made. Retro trades it back. Phantom for Phantom, kill for kill. 1 for 1 in a 4v4 situation. The spike. Again, you see those question mark pings coming on through. It looks like the play is out towards B. They will be met by Bob, who, again, on the Sova had been holding it down. Now looking to do exactly the same here on the Astra. But no, they're actually not going to head that way. They only send 1.
They're holding this lurk here. Wary of a flank throw. I'm wondering if they're going to try and sell a bit of a fake here, because there is just the solo raise of Winsome playing forward, but he just dies for free. That's not going to fake anyone out. Look at the SONIQS aren't rotating. They still have a judge tucked towards hell. Dizzy could be on for a multi-kill again.
This is a very familiar situation. Retro goes up top, which allows Jerk to trade out kill for kill. The spike to be planted, and that random kill out towards B main, it actually bought a rotation on over. It was Ian who actually leaned that way, so the Viper a bit slower behind. Now gonna pinch the site here with Plix. See Bob going up top into that heaven position, trying to spray through. to find anything here. Toxic screen is up. Gravity well is there as well. Plix now spotted out as rounds come downrange onto Jerk, and it's all up to Randy Savage, who can't get it done. A 2K there from Plix to close out another round. And SONIQS, I was not expecting this, Mimi. I thought this would be a Renegades map, and I know that we're just getting started, but this is right where you want to be if you're a SONIQS fan.
This is exactly where the SONIQS are looking to be. And now they're finally going to have real guns. The last 3 rounds, they've had judges and specters. Now they're going to be able to invest into rifles. Okay, the judge, never mind. Let's forget what I said, because they're actually rebuying into the judge. That's a really fun, fair, and balanced gun. But outside of the judge, at a bigger picture level, I felt like Winsome's positioning there, it just didn't do too much. He died for free, didn't get anything onto Bob. Yeah, Ian was rotated away, but there was a 1-for-1. Whenever there's that 1-for-1, it stays in an advantaged retake. It's just gonna make the SONIQS feel comfortable. They came right back into things, kept it alive, got the defuse, and RNG there again pressuring towards A. But look at this utility. There's a Sage wall up, then there comes a Grav well, and if they push deeper, there's also going to be this Viper wall. There's so much for them to contend with, and the Renegades, just like they were on Ascent, are struggling to deal with this kind of slow utility heavy play the SONIQS are bringing.
They are trying to mix things up here. Crunchy spots out Roy. They're no longer looking to push into Dizzy on the site with that judge. They are trying to claim Heaven controls. Winsome goes deep with the showstopper, forces Crunchy away, and that's low HP on the Reyna Iron. Finds the spike. That's absolutely huge. That kill finally comes through as Randy Savage able to trade it out, and unfortunately for SONIQS, they're not able to do much with what they had there. And Plix with the judge in hand and not able to win that fight. Not today, not tomorrow, as Jerk out on top. Renegades also out on top here in a 4v2 situation. Dizzy still holding it down. And right now, the comms have to be, where is Sage? Did you see Sage? What's going on here? Because Dizzy has not been spotted out. Dizzy has the judge again and not able to find anything there. 3 were stacked up. It was Dizzy to fall and Bob quite possibly to save in a 1v4 situation.
On the rotation, no stars to work with for Bob. And Renegades, they're playing this correctly. Have these crossfires established. Everyone's hunkered down on the site. They're not getting overzealous. They know how important it is to keep as many weapons up as possible, because the economy, it's been on dire straits for the Renegades. It's been buy, save, buy, save. They haven't found consistency. Here's their chance. Bob just tucking in, committing to playing those exits. So the round will be a guarantee. 2-4 now for RNG. And what went differently this time than their normal just quick A execute was that they had a little bit of presence toward mid. They had that player who went up beds, found the frags onto the SONIQS who were attempting to rotate off. They just put a bit more time into it. They committed a bit more resources elsewhere. It wasn't just a quick execute. Bob, finds 2 there on the way out, so that's not a bad outcome at all for the SONIQS regardless.
Yeah, the economy is doing pretty well for the SONIQS squad. At the very least for Bob, I believe he's sitting at 4,800 credits before dying there. And I thought she was trying to run into the spike. So I was like, oh, wait, what's going on? Doesn't want to save. But it was to just find something extra on the way out. So picking up 2, hurting the economy of this Renegade squad. That is not good. This economy is in a very rough spot. We see 3 instances of the light shields as Crunchy playing up close and personal on top of ramps this time. Not going to be playing back, giving that one up for free. Retro first to fall. Now with that Viper's Pit, it forces this Renegade squad up towards Heaven. Now there isn't an option. You have to go this way, but Winsome makes Crunchy answer for their sins, trading out another kill. Unfortunately, across the map, another was picked up. Roy is here to even the odds. And it's still judge supremacy for the SONIQS squad. Now you're in these long-range duels, and that's not a great spot for players.
Ooh, Dizzy has the op well read by Winsome, completely shut down there off the double dink. Plix is making a play from downtown. The nade kills Roy. And now Plix is establishing elbow. The amount of pressure he's able to apply here is crucial, but now he's alone, needs to isolate this duel, drops the gun, is shut down there by Winsome. And you were doubting some of the Raze play at the beginning, but Winsome, he seems to have swung right back into things. The guy's normally a Raze main. For the longest time, he had only ever played Raze. He started kind of spreading out a little bit, but it's good to see him back on his comfort pick. Good to see him doing well there. And I mean, it's good to see the Renegades bringing things a bit more even. 4-3 on the scoreline now. They're looking good.
You're starting to figure out this SONIQS defense. And again, you can kind of attest the 4 rounds from SONIQS that they've won to awkwardness and economy. Oh, Crunchy playing aggressive again and is still able to find a kill. And I believe walking away with just as much health as previous. Now healed up from that 73 HP. So it is going to be the full health. Reyna does still have a Devour available as well as Dizzy Life. Operator back in hand. Able to find a kill onto Winsome. So no blast pack onto the side. That one going to go over the left shoulder of Jerk. Jerk, you will live to fight another day. But SONIQS trying to make this one hurt. All 5 still alive. Only 3 remaining. Make it 4. Here as Crunchy falls. So a 3v4. Tasmanian Tiger going to go out and get some information. Plick's forced to back away. Now they know, hey, we just don't give him any close range battles. We stay away from the Rays and the Resurrection. Nets Crunchy. Another. No way! Dizzy hits that shot.
How does Dizzy hit those? How does Dizzy get away with that? RNG, they were in the perfect spot, and just the most random operator shot connects. Now they're stuck reeling. 2 players alive, and this wall actively funneling Jerk into a terrible position. He's trying to wait for someone to fight him for an opportunity to make this work. Here comes the Caterpillar. Is he going to actually commit to going through this? Well, he's sure trying to, but Plix is there with the shutdown. Now Roy's alone. 20 seconds left. Spike on the floor. This round's over. Sonic should have 5 here. Roy might be going to try and deal as much damage as he can, but he realizes the time. He's forced to fall back. Save on to the next, as it's 5 found for SQ.
How does Dizzy do it? What is that? It could barely spot any. Exactly. That's been the entire day. Looking back to Icebox, anytime there was a jiggle peek, anytime anything was poking out from anybody on the opposite end of that operator, they were getting shot down. And now we just take a look at that replay. Oh my goodness, just understanding where that Viper would end up and finding that headshot through the wall. Absolutely insane. And if that doesn't boost your confidence to win the next couple of rounds, I don't know what does. And more importantly, they're kind of getting rid of the judge supremacy. It is only going to be Plix on the judge now. So looking to play the close angles and maybe some blast pack plays. But the rest of the squad on Phantoms and that operator as the Blade Storm online here for Retro. We'll see what he's able to get done with it. And I mean, I guess I failed to mention this, but the last time we saw Renegades on this, Retro was actually on the Sage. This time it is that Jet, so they are looking, you know, to get a bit more aggressive on the attacking side, and it hasn't been working all that well for him.
Yeah, I had forgotten that he was playing onto the Sage, so that's a good catch on the switch up there to the Jet. I'm so used to seeing Retro playing into the Jet that wasn't too much surprise he's on it, but he's yet to get this op going. He's yet to really have a counter to Dizzy Life, and for the Renegades, I'm afraid if they're gonna allow Dizzy to keep it up. Like, they need to shut this op down. They can't let this keep happening because they've lost another opening duel to Dizzy. Now it's a 5-on-4. They have Seekers, they have other ults, but they have no real way to commit off of them cleanly. Spike's not a part of the play off that wall. There's already 2 players there, but the kill could call for rotations. No, they're still stoic towards A.
No way! What? Dizzy does it again through the poison cloud. Is able to cut down the guiding light as well. The dismiss box not going to be checked just yet as Crunchy finds one, able to use the dismiss to get away. Now it's all up to Retro here, stuck on the site. No backup as Jerk is too far away. Plix gets back on the board. It's 1 HP for Jerk. And it's another round for SONIQS. And I should say it's another round for Dizzy Life because Dizzy Life just continues to get it done.
What the hell just happened, Tanner?
We're about to get a replay, thank goodness.
We're about to get a replay so we can figure out what is going on here. Dizzy Life randomly, through the poison orb, finds a shot. Okay, fantastic. And then there's just a mid-air judge to contend with. Dizzy a third in the round there at the end. I started the round off by talking about how they need to kill Dizzy Life, and well, look what happened. Dizzy Life doesn't die. Renegades lose the round. They need to shut this guy down, and I think that duty has to be onto Retro and Roy, because they either need to flash him off or they need to out-op him.
I don't know if that's an option at this point to try and out-op Dizzy Life. Although on the defensive end, Retro could come up huge once we get to that half of things for Renegades. Instead of the operator, it is going to be the judge in hand. Snake bites to try and push Retro back for a second and force them to make a play on the site just as they are looking to do so. Bob playing a tight corner. Rifle in hand this time around. Jerk. Oh, no, that's the spike down. Ian able to use that Viper's pit. No, excuse me, Randy Savage on the Viper's pit as Bob finds another kill. Randy Savage stays alive with the weapon just too far out of reach. And I don't know how much that Viper's pit's actually getting done on the site. Does it cover everything? It gets a bit out towards the alleyway and wins some. Makes Ian pay for playing a bit too close to the toxins. And yeah, that is just a beautiful Viper's pit there, and a beautiful round win from Renegades. The pistols across the board, the weapons they picked up, they're able to get it done, and they're able to keep this one manageable. 8-4 going to the attacking side for either of these teams. Again, as we've seen from SONIQS, Mimi, starting on defense, you want as many rounds as you can get, and 8-4 still doesn't feel incredibly comfortable.
No, it's definitely something they can work off of, but it's not the perfect setup that they are looking for here. I gotta give a lot of props to Randy Savage in that last one with the Sheriff. He peeks out of his pit and he finds a man holding towards Hell. If he had died to the player Hell, the pit goes down. Spike is still not in their possession. They likely lose that round. So huge plays from Randy there to keep the Renegades alive, to keep them building up onto 4 here. And Retro, again on his trusty judge, trying to use this to create a bit of space towards mid as the Renegades look postured for a B split.
And I mean, Retro trying to match fire with fire, or fight fire with fire, opting into a judge and trying to close the quarters there, or get into that close quarter combat, but met by a rifle and sat down, so not able to get anything done just yet as a Nova Pulse goes through. Randy Savage picks one up onto Bob, but it's traded right back, and Plix can hop on the board at the Classic, going in up close and personal. Plix, an absolute madman, but will sacrifice his life for Pakistan as it's all up to Roy here. Forced to run away, spike in hand, but 3 members on the opposite side of the map, and like possibly going to be met by one of the scariest players here on Split in Dizzy Life on the Sage.
This should be all over. No blinds. Roy is about to walk directly into Dizzy, and it's a foregone conclusion. Roy does fall down. Dizzy picks things up in the end there. And for the SONIQS, they're just, I think the best way I'd describe their play right now is just fearless. Because, I mean, look here, Bob just re-peeking, but it's not absolutely necessary. Finds the, well, doesn't quite find the frag onto Randy, but then Plix is here to just send it in with the blast packs and attempt to get something done. He creates the diversion for the rest of his team to mop up those frags. And now as we enter the last round of the half here, SONIQS are on the verge of getting 8-4. I mean, it's not perfect, but they're probably going to be feeling pretty good, because if you go 8-4, you win the pistol, it's pretty hard to lose off of that. So SONIQS in a good position. Renegades, though, not in the worst one. They can make this 7-5, but they have to shut down Plix and his judge.
Oh, and the showstopper Ian there to back him up. Roy to fall, and Plix with 27 HP will be able to walk away. So the ultimate not going to get the value that they had hoped for. No, it gets so much damage on to win some, which allows Crunchy to get a kill. Pushing on through was Retro, vulnerable, but still wins the fight. And now Jerk just outside the Nebula smoke will fall to Bob by possibly looking for another. As Ian will fall, that's the Viper's pit down, and now a 2v2 situation. Plix to find Retro with the judge in hand. Should be able to swap weapons there and to do a bit more damage in these long-range battles. There it is. Phantom picked up the defuse to come on through, and SONIQS 8-4. The best they could get. They do manage to do just that. Now they mount their attack, and like I said before, this one's not over just yet.
Switching sides.
Dizzy Life having an impact on the op. Plix having a huge impact on the judge. Did we see him buy a rifle once? I think he just kept buying judge.
Yeah,
I think he was like, all right, this is good enough.
Like, would swap for rifle if needed, but judge was the weapon of choice.
All right.
And you can see why in all these replays.
Yeah, half of them are just judge clips or op clips. SONIQS making things work in a big way here. when we were casting that Ghost game earlier, I think you used the word content plays a couple times. That whole replay package we just watched with the Sonics, that just feels like content plays. They're just doing this like crazy, flashy stuff, and somehow it's working so well for them.
It is working, and surprisingly, that was on the defensive end that they're looking for these content plays. Right now on the attacking side, they can still continue to do just that. Plix looking so good, so refined on the raise. Now with the shorty in hand and a couple of blast packs, probably looking to try and make those same plays as the stars go out. Poison Cloud gonna buy some space for a second. Crunchy, it's a bit of damage down. Retro tries to spray him out. Oh, there it is. Crunchy picks up Randy Savage, and I mean, that's your controller. You're losing a whole lot there. You do still have the Astra, but what more can you get done? 3 HP in a dream for Crunchy's. Retro finally trades that kill back. So 1 for 1 across the map. No, make it a 1 for 2 as Ian bites off more than he can chew, walking into Jerk. The spike is on A. The spike is planted. And the post plant, it's not the worst as we take a look at Plix here with a shorty in hand.
Roy needs to hard clear this angle or else he's gonna die. This round could very well go to SONIQS, doesn't clear it, and the shorty gets 2. 1 shell per pop. He's trying to get some more done, but there is a trade through. However, these last 2 members of the Renegades are heavily wounded. Bob healthy, she's trying to just dance in and out of cover here, ready for the push-up. Classic in hand, 1 and the second. Headshots for Bob, and a huge play from the SONIQS to close out. He doesn't have the judge, but he sure as hell has the next best thing in the shorty.
Yeah, the pocket judge there. Even so much confidence in the shorty that they picked it up at the end of the round over the frenzy I think that Bob had in her hand. So probably toss that one back over to Plix. It's shotgun supremacy for this Sonic squad, and if they wanted to keep this momentum coming off their defensive side, they needed to win that pistol. They do just that, and there's not much of a response here from Renegades, so they're really opting into or kind of putting their eggs in the we're gonna buy rifles in the next and we're gonna win out from their basket. I don't know if that's possible with the momentum that SONIQS have going, and again with kills like that, just spraying through the I don't know, weird X of toxic screen. Sure, it's against pistols, but that's not how you want to go out.
No, it's not at all. SONIQS here, they look primed for double digits. RNG down to 3. 2 players committed in towards A heaven here. Winsome holding close on the ramp, but the Astra of Jerk on a late rotation. And one is actually dropped in towards that discipline corner. Shots connect. Roy recovers a weapon. And now this round has teeth, but look at the rotations coming in. There's already a Viper up towards heaven in way of Iron. And there's a rotation from the Raise in main Jerk. He needs at least 1 here. Recover the weapon, then there's a chance. But this is a very tough scenario. He needs this now.
Yeah, giving them a taste of their own medicine with the shorty. Jerk is able to find it, not on Plix, but on Ian, so it stings maybe not as much. Trying to go 1 for 1 in shorty kills. Roy with their recovered weapon, recovered Spectre, trying to find a way onto the site. Now down to the last in Roy. Does have the Spectre, does have 1 kill, but Dizzy Life doesn't need the op to close that one out. 10-4. More importantly, double digits for SONIQS. Now things get dicey. What do they do here? Do they choose to bonus Mimi, or are they going to buy into the full rifles here of Renegades?
It's going to be interesting to see. It looks like SONIQS are just sticking around with the lighter weapons, trying to see if they can get any damage done. I like the call. Forcing here would put them in a risk where if they lose the round, Renegades is to 5, they're reset down onto either a lesser buy or onto another force round. That's going to give Renegades a way into 6. By doing this, they're just likely going to lose 1 round. They'll have a buy right back in, and they'll have an opportunity to close this quickly, but they might not even have to wait because Plix is into sight already trying to get this done. Retro dashes away, but the Spectre could actually finish him off. He's down to 1 HP. Wow. He's closed out by Plix. They're making plays forward, but they're just getting destroyed.
What? It's like Renegades didn't want to close out those kills. Plix was so low. Retro dashed onto the site. Plix followed. And it was the Boombot right behind it. And Crunchy hits the nuttiest shot with a player who's half showing through that toxic screen. The A site completely opened up. And it's just the bonus. So Ian will fall, only having a frenzy there. In a 3v2, it is winnable. But weapons are now in the hands here of SONIQS. Crunchy to be the first to contact. Spots out Roy, dismisses away, trying to grab some information. Izzy and Bob to swing and close it out 11-4, and that was Renegade's round. That's what they were waiting for, saving after losing the pistol, and they fall flat. Now, do they play for the tie or do they play for the win? They have to string, at the very least, 8 in a row here, or 8 and only lose 1 here. As we get to see Crunchy hit that beautiful shot. Mimi, I could not be more excited to see this reinvented SONIQS squad. This is the squad that you want to see. Now, I know that there are probably going to be people that say they're just playing Renegades, right? But this is the type of hurting that you need to put on a team that should be, quote unquote, under you if you're shooting for top 4, right? To beat Renegades like they are, it just shows how much closer they are to reaching the goal they set when they moved over to North America. And I mean, we're not out of it just yet. Renegades could try and string something together and bring this one back in, but it is looking very dire.
It really is. 11-4. The conversation we were having before that round was, do they force and possibly lose, or do they bonus and almost guarantee lose? Neither of those happen. They bonus and they win off of nothing. This team is just, they have so many talented individuals, and my favorite part about watching the SONIQS is their flexibility. All of these players can play so many different agents, which allows the team to pull off so many creative strats. And the same is kind of true of RNG. They were one of kind of the early teams to pull themselves into the Viper meta. This team has had so much impact. They're the raid bosses of T2 right now, but they're struggling in a big way up against the SONIQS. They still have a chance to come back into it, but it has to start here. They have to stave off match point.
They do buy up what they can coming into this one off the back end of a tactical pause. The Seekers, the only ultimate online here, but only for a brief second as I spoke about it, because Roy is now dead. There is no Sage, which means there is no Resurrection, which means there are no ultimates online. Fortunately, the odds have since been evened. Jerk stuck on the site here, has a Cosmic Divide of their own. Looking to swing on through. Dizzy Life looking to grab the Ult Orb of their own, and Plix finds the kill. Now that Ult Orb will be picked up. Not only that, the Showstopper is online. Things just got a whole lot scarier for this Renegade squad as they look to make a play towards B, and the spike is headed to A.
They just committed the Viper wall there as well. Retro is still trying to leave, knife in hand, running straight in towards Iron. Judge towards Hell could still get this done, but Retro needs the frag immediately and can't win it. Iron has the head. Now these rotates incredibly late.
And I mean, the Judge is a very strong weapon, but you can see what it looks like when you have proficiency versus when you don't. Winsome gonna hop on through and just doesn't have the range for it. Now Randy Savage trying to match exactly what the SONIQS were doing here in the last. A 1v4 situation. Losing this is map point and a series point for SONIQS, and that's exactly what it is. 12-4 the scoreline. I mean, it's been all SONIQS all day here on Split.
They are just looking indomitable right now. 4 rounds in a row. They win up that bonus, put themselves on a path towards victory. And for RNG, the money is incredibly dire. I'm surprised we see... Okay, good. Retro is going to buy up likely a teammate instead because he has that Blade Storm to work off of. Someone has to go big here. They need to get aggressive in some way to find themselves an early advantage because they just have nothing in their way. And look at Plix. He's just going forward, but the blast packs shoot him straight up to his death. Now, with Retro finding that frag, there's a chance for the Renegades.
And it was all so good from Plix up until that moment. An early kill for Renegades as the Seekers come out to grab a bit more information. Jerk gonna play a nice tight corner here inside of B main with that Judge. And there it is. Finds a kill there. Roy picks up another. And SONIQS now down to their last 2. The Tasmanian Tiger or the Trailblazer and a dancing around, squiggling around, trying to buy Crunchy or get him to back away. Ian still alive. 46 HP and being chased down as a spooky spot to be, but there's nobody here. They're all coming from behind. No way. Mimi?
Not like this.
Mimi, there's no way.
This shouldn't be possible. He has the pit down a 1v3. The pit makes this so winnable, but he is low. If they can just isolate the duels correctly. Okay, thank God. Winsome shuts things down. I was getting so afraid that that could have been possible for a moment, but they deny it. Renegades, they stay strong for a 5th.
They hang on. They've also got couple of ults online here. Retro with the Blade Storm. Jerk has the Cosmic Divide. Can again be kind of tough to use. We'll see if there's a situation where it pops up. The Astra typically just picked for the utility as a whole in the Nebula Smokes, the Nova Pulse, and the Gravity Well, obviously, in that ultimate. So if you can get it in, try and get it in where you can, but it is incredibly difficult to kind of swing it in your favor. We saw some questionable ones on Ascent that saved some lives and saved some rounds for SONIQS. The Gravity Well pulls in Dizzy Life and the rest of the squad right behind it. It's the operator on the attacking side, so SONIQS investing a lot into this one to try and close things out. There's the Viper wall from Randy Savage, so it should buy a bit of time and a couple of stars on the opposite side. Jerk and Randy Savage not going to give up this site for free.
Giving things away. Oh no, he peeks out. Dizzy shuts down with the up. Now they have a door into closure here. Winsome trying to make a play up forward. Blast Pack to attempt to deny the wall, but it goes up regardless. Randy on the site trying to fight too. But SONIQS don't have to push this. They're chilling out for a second, but here comes the execution. Plicks on the showstopper. Site's free. Renegades down a man. They need to pull off this retake to stay alive.
And Winsome grabs one, is going to be traded out. Randy Savage, unfortunately, doesn't have the shots on target, and there's the resurrection. It's down to the last two. SONIQS trying to close it out, and Ian has quite possibly the most important position. The Blade Storm used. The Blade Storm going to get some value. Op shot goes wide. Uncharacteristic of Dizzy Life, but it might not matter. Retro low on health. Only 24 with the daggers in hand. Goes full send, but SONIQS will close it out in dominant fashion. And they are your winners here of the Summer Champs Open 8.
Oh, good work to the SONIQS there. So many times this squad has fallen short to the Renegades, but now twice in a row they've pulled off the 2-0 and in pretty dominant fashion. I really got to give it off to these guys because they came in, they played two maps, both of which they rarely play, that they really had to put the work in the back end into to be able to pull off. They win them both out over one of their toughest opponents that they've consistently faced. This SONIQS squad is always on the up and up. Again, you kept calling themselves like a reinvention, and I love that. I feel like they're continually redefining themselves in terms of these stages. Since they came to America, this team has only been improving each time I have watched, and I'm excited to see what they can do going forward. But I mean, same to be said with the Renegades. We can see the growing pains with this new man in Jerk, but I can see the potential for them to become something big with him.
And I mean, to make it to the grand finals and fall flat, what more can you ask for outside of winning, right? I still love Jerk on this team. I think Jerk slotted in incredibly well. And I think if you needed a player that was able to play the Astra, Jerk does it incredibly well. As we take a look at the road.